Welcome to Pour the Wine. It's Rom-Com Time, where we'll sip some wine and review all things rom-com on the Hallmark Channel. I'm Amy.
And I'm Garry. And guess what Gary's doing?
What's Garry doing?
He's pouring.
He's pouring
some wine.
Today, we're going to be recapping and reviewing the second episode of season 2 of The Chicken Sisters. Mama tried, y'all. Isn't that always the case?
Yes.
Mama tried, y'all. It aired on the Hallmark Channel on Sunday, August 17th, 2025, and is streaming right now on Hallmark Plus.
We would really love it if you would click that follow button on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss an episode. If you listen on Apple or Spotify, you can also leave us a review. And hopefully you're kind and will leave a positive review.
Hopefully.
You can also find us on YouTube and all social media.
You can also send us an email at pourthewine@gmail.com. So shoot us an email. Let us know your thoughts about last season of Chicken Sisters. If you're watching this season so far, what you think, your thoughts, or just let us know about anything Hallmarky.
Yes.
Yes.
Let us know.
Let us know.
Like you're going to let us know who's in this one.
Okay. So new to this episode, to episode number 2, we have David James Elliott appears at the very end, but he still appears.
He still appears.
He plays Clayton Ridge III, and I wouldn't know that unless they had said it during the episode because it is not yet on IMDb. Well, actually, I take that back. The Chicken Sisters is listed on his IMDb, but no character name. So maybe they'll get to it eventually. I found one other Hallmark production of his. It was called Dad's Home, and that was in 2010. Some of his other work includes the sci-fi series Revival. Mm-hmm. He was in 10 episodes of that. He was in the movie Heart of Champions. He was in the TV series Spinning Out for 10 episodes. He was in an episode of Scorpion.
Nice.
We love that series.
Love Scorpion.
Of course, fans largely know and love him for his portrayal of Harmon Rabb for 227 episodes of the TV series Jag. And Jag ran for 10 years and also starred Good Witch actress Catherine Bell.
Yes, it did.
Yes, it did.
And let's not forget who directed this episode, season 2, episode 2. It was Leah Thompson.
Leah Thompson.
Yeah.
And we have a hard time finding the writers for these. We're not trying to not say who they are.
Right.
It's sort of hard to get the details. I know at the beginning of episode 1 of season 2, we talked about how Erin Gibson had taken over as showrunner and EP. So I'm not sure how much she's involved in the writing. I don't know. She wrote an episode last season. So maybe we'll find out more information and be able to give that as we go along.
Yeah.
Also.
So, time to drop the synopsis?
Let's drop it. Drop it like it's hot?
Yes.
Okay. Amanda, Nancy, and Gus try to mend fences following their ultimate kitchen clash episodes airing, and May enlists Sabrina's help with wedding planning.
Yes, she does. And don't forget, we're going to give away spoilers. So let's go ahead and stop the podcast now. Go watch it. Come back. Tell us what you thought.
Right.
All right.
Well, we'll definitely give away some spoilers.
Yes,
100%. So if you don't want to hear the spoilers, like you said, pause, go watch, come back, unpause, listen.
Yes.
There we go.
Just like that.
Just like
in that order. So what did you think?
I think, okay, so at the end of last episode, kind of part of our review was, or mine anyway, I don't remember how you felt, but I said that, I kind of felt like, it was a good start, but it wasn't like a spectacular start. Like we enjoyed it to get back in, and we kind of hoped it picked back up and the writing would be back to where it was from season 1 because it was the banter was great. The one-liners were great. You know, everything worked. And I think this episode really kicked it into high gear. I think this was Shawna's episode.
Oh my goodness, 100%.
And we literally, and I don't remember, we laughed a lot last season during some lines, but we laughed out loud during this episode a lot.
Yes.
When we watched it.
Definitely did.
A lot. And that was so great, So I felt like it sort of is back in this episode. I felt like they gave us a lot. Like I said, Shawna is the absolute star of this episode for sure, for sure. Her one-liners, her expressions, the things she says, the things she does, you know, how she helps Gus. I mean, there is just, you know, Amanda. She's talking to, you know, everybody really. Sergio, she ends up talking to.
Dot.
I mean, and Dot. Yeah. I mean, so and of course, all of the main players are in it also. And so I felt like this was a great episode that pushed the story along to where it needed to be after the end of last episode, where we saw Amanda in the preview kiss Sergio, and no one knew that but her and Nancy, and now everyone knows in the town, in their small town, right? Okay.
And everybody knows about the Caesar salad.
So what did you think? Well, we're going to get to that.
I
Caesar salad.
too thought that this was Shawna's episode, and I'm so glad that they brought her to the forefront.
Yes.
Because she is the comedic part
she really
of this series.
Yes.
And her one-liners are spot on, right on time, and funny as all get out.
And they are plentiful in this episode. I mean, so many. I would write them all down if I could, you know,
right,
or taking notes. So go ahead. I'm sorry. Did you?
No, and I was just going to say, also in this episode, you have a child who's actually an adult, and you have an adult who's actually a child.
Oh,
and
yeah, that's true. You kind of see that at the end.
Yes,
yeah.
I just really, really, really enjoyed this one.
Yeah,
way more.
It picked it up
than the first one.
Don't you think? We had the first one. We kind of eased back into it. It was good, but I think this one's really reminiscent of season 1.
Yes.
What we got in season 1.
It sure was.
So it starts off and we see kind of Amanda, you know, her life with Frank Jr., how she was sort of tossed aside by him. And then he doesn't view her work as important. He doesn't care about her drawings. He rips them down in a room, you know, and then she has Frankie, and that's sort of what her focus is. And she can become creative again, and she can become more of herself with Frankie, doing things with her. So that became her focus for all of these years. And then it shows the scene in the Chicken Sisters restaurant where they're watching the preview.
Right.
So that's where it picks up.
Yeah.
And then
Frankie it was really cool how they did that kind of
like a montage. Yes, I agree. At the beginning,
her life when she was a little child, she was doodling the chickens. When she became a teenager, when she became a wife, a mother.
Yeah,
I just really enjoyed that whole progression of that.
And they did that quite frequently last season too, where they would show you a glimpse into their life at some other point.
Right.
But go ahead.
And where her life actually went off the rails,
right,
so to speak.
Right.
Pun intended.
Yeah, pun intended.
And we also, in that scene, she gets up because Frankie is staring at her, embarrassed, gets up and storms out of the restaurant.
Yeah.
Amanda gets up, and then on her chair is the chicken symbol.
Is the chicken. That's right.
That's
on the
right.
wood, on
we
the
got to
back.
mention the
It was
chicken
on the back
symbol.
of her chair.
Yes,
is that what it was? Okay, that's pretty cool. Yep,
So,
it sure was. And so then we have, I don't know, where does Shawna walk into?
It was, I think
where
it
were they?
was Amanda's house.
It was I think it was Amanda's house. So the very first scene with Shawna is she walks in with this huge circular floral arrangement that you would see at a funeral. And she's like,
oh my goodness.
She's like, what did she say? Sorry, secret camera recorded you kissing the cook. That's what this flower arrangement says. And it's so funny. And the flower arrangement says condolences. And it's so Shawna. I loved it so much.
And then she was like, you saw no way out of your miserable life.
Yeah. And then she says, until Sergio with his glistening, doesn't she say something about his glistening white t-shirt?
Oh, yes. And then she talks about her reputation too.
Yeah.
That she's mad because she's the queen of gossip, and she holds that party every year. Mm-hmm. And that her reputation is going to take a hit.
Because she didn't know that Amanda and Sergio had kissed. That was something she couldn't.
Because she was upset because she heard it when everybody else heard it.
What was it called? What was the party called from last season? Oh, I can't remember.
That's gonna burn me.
Yes, I can't believe we can't remember because that was a really good episode.
Yes. I hope they have it again this year.
Yeah.
This season.
So then, we have the railroad crossing arm that's stuck again. Nancy gets stuck by it. So this is obviously going to be a theme throughout this season. Yep. And eventually we will find out, what that's all about.
Yeah, I thought that was because she was so mad Nancy was stuck there and she was like, "Urgh."
Well, she's got anger about
what went down
at the preview, that she saw the kiss and didn't tell Frank Jr.
Right.
And now everybody knows that she knew but didn't say anything. So
Frank Jr. and his masculinity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which they show him in the cluckery.
His pretend masculinity.
Yes, his pretend. And Christian,
I don't want to give him any credit.
Christian, Mr. Chicken, comes into...
Christian, is that his name?
Christian. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shawna calls him that.
So I just call him Mr. Chicken.
Yeah, we can call him Mr. Chicken.
No, I mean, I didn't realize that's right. So the character.
Shawna calls him that.
She calls him Christian. Oh, that's right. That's right.
And he comes in to console him. Tells him to go home for the day because he's going to be no good with the customers. So
right, because he's a wreck and he's crying, which is really, I felt like. But the thing is, when you look at it now, knowing Frank Jr., it's like he's crying selfishly. Like I think he just only cares about himself, and obviously it would be upsetting, if you saw that your wife was, had kissed someone else and it was on TV. And I mean, I get it to an extent, but I can only feel so sorry for him. It has a limit because of how he is and how he's acted.
Right.
It does have a limit. Like, okay, you're crying, but I mean,
yeah. Well,
come on.
In the first episode, he was like, "Well, I liked our life," and she goes, "You may have liked it, but I didn't."
Yeah, it was good for you.
Yeah,
but it wasn't good for me.
Right.
So, and like I said, though, we keep thinking maybe he's going to change. Okay, he's crying, and maybe that's it, but it's not. I've learned my lesson. He's not going to change.
Season.
He's not going to change.
Yep.
So, him crying, he's just going to have to get over it. I'm sorry if that sounds harsh, but that's just the way it is.
It is, because you get tired of it.
So Gus calls Amanda because Amanda's mortified and embarrassed, as she should. She should be. She did it. It's on camera, and everybody saw. So, but it was kind of cool because Gus calls her and, she basically says she understands, and Amanda's surprised by that because Gus is like, I understand. I get it. Do you need some food?
Yeah. How sweet was that?
Yeah. Yeah. It was nice.
Yeah.
So.
And then you have Nancy going to the mayor's office, complaining about the arm, and I just love how he just turned it on her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He basically
was so funny how he did that. I mean, he tells her that she's good at saying nothing.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, because he's implying. But you know what I found interesting about that interaction was he seemed to really not like her.
Yeah,
and I don't know why that is. I don't know if that's going to come up like in a later episode. But he was really, for a mayor, he's kind of like maybe they went to high school together or something. Maybe he was jealous because she ended up with Frank Sr. I mean, I don't know. But he was kind of like, you get what you deserve, and he's the mayor he doesn't even hear her complain about because he thinks she's focusing on that instead of dealing with the fact that yeah, exactly. But he's really kind of harsh with her. So I wonder if there's more behind that than meets the eye. So.
Yeah. There probably is.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Yeah. I don't know.
And let's talk about Sabrina.
Okay.
There's another character that they brought forward this season, and I just love it.
She was forward a lot in the last
near
season,
the end of the season, but not throughout the season.
I'm so glad they brought her back.
I know, because she's another one that is real quick-witted.
Yes.
And funny.
Yes.
And she decides to help May with her wedding planning. Mm-hmm. May is a trip.
Well, she's like, May's reluctant because she says when you grow up, thinking no one's going to stay, you don't plan for what's next when they do, because she hasn't really planned her wedding. Her wedding's like in a few weeks, and
she's kind of struggling.
Her wedding planning book is a mess, and Sabrina's really surprised by that. And then Sabrina's like, a wedding what she say? A wedding is a series of military grade maneuvers. You can't just wing it. I thought that was so true.
Yes.
You could not pay me enough to be a wedding planner because the attitudes, the people you have to deal with, no, thank you. No,
Yeah.
thank
And
you.
it's kind of funny because the narrator says something like, unlike honey to a bear's paw, a man never stuck to a Mimi's girl.
Oh, is that what
Or
she
stuck
says?
with
The
a
bear,
Mimi's girl, yeah.
That's why.
And that's why May says what she says.
Is a little
she's
reluctant.
like,
yeah.
He's going to leave me. And then she tells him, Sabrina tells May that, Jay loves her for all of her flaws.
Yeah.
And she was like,
she does.
She's like, I don't have any flaws.
She goes, well, is that when she says that's just what someone,
Right.
or is that the part where, no,
Yeah.
maybe not. Maybe I'm
because she
confused.
says, May says she does not have any personality flaws.
Right.
But Sabrina's like, Jay loves you for your personality flaws.
Right. You are. I thought it was kind of cool because Sabrina is giving her like a pep talk,
Right.
like, that he does love you. He thinks you hung the moon, so he's not going anywhere and we need to plan this wedding.
Unlike lassoing the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And also she said, girl, I built a camera tripod from fishing rods.
She did. Yeah.
She said, I could do anything.
She could. Yep. So
She also made a reference to Shark Tank.
Oh, she did.
Yeah.
What did she? She said she should have been a judge, or she said something about
a chair, the 6th chair.
Like she should have been on there because she could recognize
right
good business, and I think that's when she said the thing about the fishing rod. Yeah. She made a tripod out of fishing rods. She could make it work, right? She could make a plan and make it work. So Sabrina's going to help her with the wedding, which is pretty cool. And I kind of like their friendship now because they, were rocky in the last one because of past history. Mm-hmm. And now they're kind of together and despite the fact that Sabrina did have the hidden cameras, I think May, being in the business, understands Sabrina's side of it. So she's not so like hateful towards her for it because she's like, I mean, that's television. That's reality television. You sign up, and I didn't even read May didn't even read the contract really for that. So there you go.
How about Shawna ordering the latte?
Okay. So we have to get into this. This is probably, there were so many good scenes with Shawna in this episode. And I was trying to figure out, if I could pick one, and I'm not sure I can, but this whole scene at the inn, it's the inn, right? The bed and breakfast or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so she goes in to order, and she orders it 1 latte, half oat, half almond, 1 pump vanilla, 1 pump caramel, barely touch the pump for cinnamon, and whipped cream at the bottom. She gets real excited at the end. And I had to write that down because I thought it was so funny. And Patrick's like, I'll have it out in 3 hours.
And she's like, okay.
Oh my gosh. It's just so funny. That's when Dot comes in.
That's when Dot comes in and says that she wants Shawna's autograph. And Shawna's like, yes, I will give you an autograph as soon as I get my headshot.
Because she's going to sell them probably.
Oh, yes. She's making money off of
everything. She's going to give her autograph away.
I love it.
And then doesn't Dot say she was good in the series or something? Because that's when Shawna says, I would have gotten more like airtime if Sabrina hadn't given me wrong locations. Because, Sabrina
she kept sending me to wrong locations. Yeah. That was awesome.
That was so funny. And we didn't know that in the last one, right? And I thought that was like the perfect line.
Yeah. And then she starts talking to Sergio. And Sergio's
this is all the same scene, right?
And he, excuse me. And Sergio asks if Amanda's okay.
Oh, yes, he did.
Shawna goes, Amanda kind of stares into that middle distance. And then she's got those glaring eyes just staring off in the distance. I thought that was so great.
Funny. And then she says, she's kind of upset because that thing you did where your face is touched.
Where your face is. And he's like,
she said that thing you two did with your face.
He's like, I was there.
So funny.
I was there.
She just cracked me up, and he wants to go talk to Amanda, and Shawna tells him no, of course.
Right.
Oh my God. That scene was just chef's kiss, that whole scene with her. So
yes, that was definitely
all right. What's next? What do you want to talk about next?
Well, Nancy goes to see Bo, the pastor. And this is when we find out what the proposal was.
Right.
And he was actually going to ask her if she would go on a trip with him to other countries to build homes for people less, fortunate than others.
Right. Because she thought he was going to ask her to marry him, which we all knew it wasn't going to happen. I mean, that was a little bit of a cheesy storyline, but, it got him.
And she tells him she doesn't understand why Frank Jr. is mad at her.
Right.
And the pastor goes and says, well, as a pastor, you're his mother. He trusts you.
Yeah.
And then as a friend or a boyfriend, he is a grown man.
Yeah.
He should be able to handle
you did
it, right?
what you thought was best for him. Yeah. So. And then you have another great scene where Shawna again goes to the what is it? The
Mr. Chicken's
Cluckery. I don't know why that name doesn't stick in my head. Yeah, so she's going there to do corporate espionage.
I know. That was so funny.
So she goes to try the chicken, and the chicken is not good.
Seasoned.
It's not seasoned. It's not good. And the narrator came back this time with a lot of good one-liners because we didn't have that so much in the first episode.
Mm-mm.
But in this one, she's like, when you bite into chicken, it should change your life. But this chicken, she wouldn't serve it to her worst enemy, Linda. She knows what she did. That was so funny.
Yes, it
was.
She's
talking about Shawna. Like, that's Shawna's word. I thought that was so funny. So she tries the chicken, and it is terrible. So
and she asked Christian, what did you season it with? And he's like, Mr. Chicken doesn't season his chicken. It's all about the sauces.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, then you should have changed it to Mr. Sauces.
You should name it Mr. Sauces. Oh, my gosh. That was a good scene. Then you have this scene where Frank Jr. kind of shows up at, I guess it's Mimi's. Do they have two Chicken Sister restaurants? I'm confused.
Mimi's
but it's
working
not Mimi's anymore. It's the Chicken Sisters.
Nancy's working the other
franchised, right? So, so at the Mimi's Chicken Sisters restaurant, and Sergio's throwing out the trash, and Frank is like, "Why don't you throw yourself out?" You know. So I did not. That scene didn't work. I don't know if that was like an additional scene. Right. I just didn't. I didn't think out of the whole episode that scene really sort of fit.
Yeah, and he was like, "Well, you haven't seen the last of me."
I know.
And Sergio's like, "Yeah, it's a small town."
Well, Sergio does apologize in that moment, and he says, "We didn't mean to do it. We're so sorry," and and all that.
He tries to apologize.
So he tries, but he admits he was wrong. I mean, there's only so much he can do. You know, we did it. I'm sorry, I was wrong, and like I said, Frank Jr. rightfully upset. It's just difficult to feel sorry for him since he's such an ass.
Yep.
Yep. Then Shawna again goes into the restaurant,
which Gus is holding the book.
Second
episode with the book.
What is it? Queen of Cowboys.
The Queen of Cowboys. Right? Yes, I really enjoyed it.
What?
That the book showed up again.
The book showed up again. I know. I knew you were gonna be happy about that.
Yeah, and she explains to Gus why she's late because she was doing the espionage.
She was doing the corporate espionage. It's funny, but Gus is like, I don't want this trashy book, and then Shawna's like, you don't want this trashy book, and then she goes on these different explanations. She's like, you think a woman pretending to be her own twin sister in order to inherit her family fortune is trash?
Yeah,
And Gus is like, yes.
And then Gus was interested in what the chicken tasted like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And this scene was so good because she said the chicken was not even seasoned. The mac and cheese was like chewing on a melted Barbie leg.
I never thought about that. I was such a good description.
A melted Barbie leg.
Oh, my gosh. And then, oh, God, I just love Shawna. I mean, I can't say that enough about this episode. But anywho, so then Gus gets that crank call, right? Now, this is the Caesar salad moment
of
the episode. So in the in the first season, you find, and I kind of vaguely remember this, I think, where Gus says, I dye my hair blonde. If I wanted to be an actress, I would dye my hair blonde and start eating a Caesar salad.
Right.
And that has gone viral now. So people are calling the restaurant pranking Gus. Like, I want a Caesar salad, you know, or whatever. And she doesn't get it at first.
Mm-hmm. And then Shawna kind of explains to her, talks about social media, the gram.
The gram, as she likes to say. Well, she talks about how she's viral.
Yeah. And how the internet actually works. If it's like a monster. If you feed it, it's going to be, it's going to come after you and eat more. But if you give it something to diffuse it, it'll go and find something else.
And that,
Jones on,
well, she tells her that a little bit later, that part of it. But she's like, it's funny, it's not, and Gus doesn't appreciate it. And that's where you really see, old hurt doesn't go away, because Gus has been made fun of. She's like, do you like to be laughed at?
And she said, no, ma'am.
No, ma'am. Because Shawna,
it makes sense, right?
Shawna thinks it's a good thing. She's about money. It's going to bring in business. It's attention, like the comedian Kathy Griffin, what does she say? Bad publicity is good publicity.
Yes.
It's publicity. Either way you look at it. So Shawna's kind of that mindset, but Gus, has had a history of being a Mimi's girl and being made fun of. And and it really upsets her and she tears up in that moment a little bit. So you kind of really see the deep-seated hurt in Gus.
Right.
So.
I agree.
Yeah.
So what happens next? Let's see. That's when Sabrina talks about the Shark Tank. The next scene with Amanda.
Is that? Did we say that too soon?
Yeah.
Is that
but that's okay.
That's all right. Yeah.
Because she also Amanda or Sabrina wants to know what the unknown is all about. And she tells her it's about her father. And she's like, I try to ask my mom, she won't give me the answer, so I give up. And Sabrina was like, well, why don't you just do a DNA test?
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, no way. And then Sabrina tells May she can do a DNA test. It's not just how we just find serial killers,
It's funny.
And I thought that was really funny.
A DNA test isn't just for serial killers. And that's when May says, she didn't know much about her dad, and the only thing her mom said was, she said, when I was a kid, she told me he taught dance lessons in the Catskills and never put baby in a corner.
Yeah.
And she's like, and I got that right away. And then Sabrina's like, Dirty Dancing? That scene was kind of cute.
Yeah, that was. Shout out.
And then you find out that May, even if she could find out, she really wants to hear it from Gus.
Right.
I want Gus to tell me herself who my daddy is.
Right.
Right. So,
yeah. I see the parallels.
Sure. Yeah.
Moms are supposed to do the right things.
Before that, Frank Jr. has gone to his house.
Right. Yeah.
And Amanda apologizes to him. He's upset and she apologizes to him. And he decides he's not going to sign the divorce papers. He's going to hold the divorce papers hostage.
He's a man baby.
Shock of all shocks, right?
Yes. Again, man baby.
Yeah.
That's why I like the actor, because the character makes me hate him so
I
much.
know. He's really good. He is really good. Yep. I hope he doesn't get yelled at on the street or anything, the actor. James Cott, that's the actor. That's the actor. So he probably walks down the street and gets, yelled at. And
well, I hope not. I hope
I hope not either, but he is really good at making you just really dislike him.
Right.
That's a good actor right there.
Yeah, and then we have Junior scaring Nancy outside of the church.
Yeah.
And they kind of get into a conversation when Bo comes out and he tells them, you need to take a walk because you might say something you might regret.
Well, he's yelling at her.
Yeah.
I think that's what brings Bo out.
He's raising his voice. Yeah.
And then he's like, I thought mamas are always supposed to do the right thing.
Right.
And he knows that's going to get to her, I think.
Yeah.
And then we find out that Frankie has skipped school. Well, we kind of know that,
right?
I guess already, right? Because she didn't get on the bus, but we don't know where. But Amanda gets the phone call, and she has to go out in public, and so she hasn't been out since the airing of the episode. So she goes out in a hoodie, a hat, and sunglasses, and
it is so funny.
She's like trying to be in disguise, but it's a small town,
And then the narrator says something like, Amanda spent the day spending time in the shadow of a barn.
Before she went out.
She went out, yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah. And she also went to the inn and asked if they'd seen Frankie, and no one's seen Frankie. And as she was leaving, Doc comes in and says, I really loved you on camera. And I always thought you deserved better.
Yeah. Well, she says she saw a confident Amanda, and where's that girl been all these years? And it kind of touched Amanda a little bit. And then, she says she always thought she could do better than Frank Jr. And she's kind of like,
Yeah. Anybody could do better than Frank Jr.
Well.
And then we get, I think, what is it? Gus comes in dressed up.
Oh my gosh. That was
hilarious. She said, who was there? Was it Shawna?
Yes.
Shawna, and I can't remember who the other person was now.
It was Shawna and Nancy, because they were talking. Nancy was telling Shawna about what happened with Frank Jr.
Yes.
And then, when Nancy tells Shawna that, that he said, Mama's always supposed to do the right thing. And Shauna's kind of like, well, what about a son doing the right thing? And I'm like, yes, Shawna, yes.
Yes.
That's exactly right, Shawna. Right. Shawna coming in with the line.
I've seen Shawna this episode.
Yeah. So it's pretty good. And then that's when Gus comes into the room.
Yes,
she walks
that was
into
an awesome
the room.
scene too, with that colorful dress and her hair all
her
cut.
Heels
and Nancy's like, whoa. What happened to you?
Well, it was more like, what happened to you?
Yeah.
Because it's so different.
And Gus is like, Shawna's what happened to me. That was so funny.
Oh my gosh, it was so funny.
Yeah, because they're trying to bury the story about the Caesar salad.
Right. So they're trying to make it like attack it in a way on a video, and Shawna's like, it's for the gram. It's
for the gram.
Because she's like.
Yeah, so funny.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. So then Lindsay has gone to look for Frankie, right, and she finds her in the theater, and it's just Frankie, and Frankie's whispering, and Lindsay's like, "There's no one else here.
Why are you whispering?"
Which I thought was funny. And then, but then what's interesting about that scene is she's like, "Oh, skipping school, huh? The next thing you know, you'll be doing corporate espionage." And I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, that's the second time they used that word. I said
that phrase. Yeah,
I said that.
You did say that. You're like, I'm like, what in the world?
Yeah, why would they say that twice?
Crazy. And then the boyfriend,
Doug. Yeah, he comes
Dudley
in.
or Doug?
She calls him Doug.
Oh, okay. So he comes in, right?
And spills the popcorn on her.
Yeah, and it disappoints Lindsay because she thinks Frankie's there alone,
right? And
she wants some alone time with Frankie.
And then in comes Amanda,
right? And then Frankie ends up leaving, and she says, "Take me home," to her boyfriend, and that really disappoints Lindsay. Amanda sees Lindsay's disappointed, and then we cut to the next scene after that. So
and that's when Nancy tells Amanda that she had been keeping it from Junior because she loved them both and she didn't want to pick sides.
Oh, right.
But she really loves her son. So
she loves Amanda.
And she loves Amanda.
Right.
And that's why she chose not to tell Junior. Because she didn't want to be Team Junior. She didn't want to be Team Amanda.
Right.
She just wanted to be in the middle. She wanted to be Switzerland. You know what I mean?
And I love how she, kind of puts her arm around her. And because Amanda's like, it's her fault that Frankie ditched school. That's what Amanda tells Nancy. Mm-hmm. And she says it's a mama tax. Everything is our fault. And I'm like, that's true too.
Right.
That is a very true statement.
It's so funny, right?
Yeah. But I thought what was cool in that moment was Nancy, she still goes to Amanda, puts her arm around her, and then they decide that's when they make chicken. They decide to make dinner for each of them to take home separately, right? So that's part of it. So we forgot to mention the part about Gus making her film with Shawna.
With Shawna at Mimi's restaurant.
Right. So when we were talking about the dress, she's all dressed up, and that's kind of what Shawna wanted her to wear, but she ends up not.
Right.
She gets in more comfortable clothes, and she walks into her restaurant, and she's like, these are, what did she say? These are standing jeans, not sitting jeans, so we have to hurry up.
Let's hurry this up. Yeah. And she goes, I'm an actress. And then
yeah, she's got like a flat affect.
Yeah. And then they bring out the Caesar salad. She eats it, and she actually kind of likes it.
Right. And Shawna, I guess we should say Shawna was there with like the ring light and was filming her.
Yeah.
And like you said earlier, Shawna's like, all they need is something new, and then they're going to forget about the other video. So, yeah. And then she's like, hi, I'm Gus Moore. And now that I'm an actress, I love Caesar salad.
Yeah.
She says it's so flat. It's so funny. And then she actually likes the salad.
Yeah. Go figure, right?
Yeah, go figure.
And Sergio goes, wow, that's an actual Gus compliment.
Compliment, yeah. Like that's a legitimate, heartfelt Gus compliment. Yeah. It was cute.
And then we pick Lindsay. She shows up back at, I guess it's
May's.
May's
I think
house?
They're staying with May.
Yeah, they're staying. Yeah.
Lindsay and Sabrina.
Sabrina and May are sitting there eating, I think it's cake or something, when Lindsay comes in and she tells her mom she wants to go back to New York. She wants to go home.
She's upset.
And then that's when Sabrina says, don't do anything. I got to go, Mom.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Like, don't panic. And then we talked about how they made the chicken. Nancy takes it to Frank Jr., apologizes to him. And then she kind of is like, don't you have something to say too? And she's like, we both did things that we have to apologize for. And he's like, you sure did, didn't you? And I'm like, there he is.
There it is.
See, there
That's why I hate him.
So, he says he's not ready to forgive her, and he takes the chicken and goes inside and close the door.
Right.
I'd be like, bye.
Yeah, me too.
Then he sits down and he enjoys the chicken.
Yeah.
You
can tell he's thinking of his revenge.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's what the narrator says. Yeah. Doesn't she say something about...
there's a storm of brewing.
Yeah, something like that. Cloudy with a side of
revenge.
Or a chance of revenge or something. Yeah.
That was so good. And then you have Amanda showing up at
her house,
going into Frankie's room to give her, to talk to her about it and to tell her, here, I got some food. And
yeah, she's got the chicken
pretty much
too.
Frankie's pissed off because her mom didn't tell her or talk to her about it. She knew that her and her dad were kind of goofy together, and that wasn't the reason why she was upset. It was just that they didn't tell her. She didn't feel like she was part of the family.
Because she's like, I'm part of this family too. Right. And she really just wanted that conversation.
Yeah.
It wasn't even so much about the kiss or the separation. It was just...
And then Amanda starts to, tear up about, well, I'm going to be losing you. You're going off to school.
Yeah.
And then that's when she... Frankie pulls out the book of all her drawings.
The album that she's kept.
She's kept that her mom made these little doodles for her. And she goes, I'll always take these with me.
Yeah, doesn't she say she's going to take those with her to school? And Amanda kind of talks about how she's struggling with, she doesn't know what to do now that she's not a wife. Like she's been a wife for 17 years and she feels alone. And that's when, Frankie's kind of like, you're not alone. You have me. You'll always be my mama, but you can be this person too, who's creative and crafty and wonderful. Yeah. And you have your own separate identity from me, which I thought was really cool. And I think you mentioned when we watched this, you had one that didn't work out with the chicken and one that did,
Well, I was just saying she's the child who's acting like an adult.
Yeah.
And he's an adult that's acting like a child.
After it was over.
Right.
You were kind of like, look, one worked out, one didn't. Yeah.
So I thought it was.
But you're right. Frankie is acting like the adult, and Frankie is acting like the adult, and Frank Jr. is acting like the child. But you're right in that moment.
Yeah, and then we have the Mimi scene,
the finale, right of episode 2. So Gus is at Mimi's, right? Which you just said. Duh, sorry.
It's okay.
It's been a long day. And she's got her back to the door, which I never really understand while the door's open, but you're closed. But anywho, and then you hear this voice that says, I'm looking for the best Caesar salad in Merrimack. And Gus thinks it's somebody razzing her about this whole Caesar salad mess, right?
Right.
And then the narrator says, I want to tell you who this radiant sunbeam is. And so we find out it's Clayton Ridge III. He was the star quarterback of 1983. Oh, and it's May's daddy.
Maze Diddy.
So we find out. So he's holding a bouquet
Of the yellow flowers.
of the yellow
that were
flowers.
In the first episode.
Yep, which she had picked up in the first episode and kind of sniffed it and smiled. So it brought back, we think, good memories for her, right? And then he says, "Hi, Gussie," with this big old smile. I just love that he called her Gussie.
Yes, that was
And
cute.
I hope he ends up being a good guy. I mean, I don't
think he
know
will
how it's
be.
going to end up, but and then his smile is huge, and he's so handsome, and she's kind of mildly terrified that he has shown up, even though she called him, right?
She gets a little smile on her face near the end. So.
Yeah. So
and that was it.
We're going to see. I mean, I think episode 2 definitely picked it up. I'm really excited to see where the season goes. I hope the level that we were at this episode continues through the rest of the season.
Me too.
Because it was really, really good. So out of 5 drumsticks, how many do you give it?
Definitely 5.
Definitely 5 for me too. Yeah.
I would give it to Shawna.
I know this is Shawna's. Now, granted, we love all of them, right? We love all of the characters and everything. But this really was her episode to just, I mean, oh my gosh, do this in every episode with her. At least a couple scenes. Doesn't have to be the whole thing, but.
We forgot to mention the one-liner she said when Gus asked her about how the chicken tasted, and she said, "I'd rather put dip a tractor tire in some ranch dipping or dip."
Dip. I'd rather eat a tractor tire dipped in ranch. Yeah, it was funny.
So what do you give this?
Huh?
How many drumsticks?
5.
Chicken drumsticks. Okay.
5. I didn't. Oh, I don't know. It's been a long day.
It's been a long day.
Anyhow,
so is that a wrap?
That's a wrap.
Well, thanks for tuning in. Follow the podcast wherever you listen so you don't miss one. Also, follow us on social media. If you really, really like the show, we would really, really appreciate your positive review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
Like, really.
And if you really didn't like the show, we'd still appreciate your
just
review.
Kidding. Yes, we would appreciate your positive review. Be sure to follow us wherever you get your podcasts and on social media so you don't miss a thing. Until then, fill up your glasses and push play. Thanks for listening. Cheers.